Hello everyone. So this is the summary of the poem Strange Meeting by Wilfred Owen. So these are the important points. This poem was written in 1918 when poet was fighting as a soldier in First World War and was published in 1919. In this poem the poet talks about the horrors and the brutality of wars. In this poem the speaker reaches to the hell and meets the soldier of the opposite army whom he had killed in the war. Poet believes that the bloodshed and violence of the war should be replaced with reconciliation and harmony. So, this is the text of the poem. It seemed that out of battle I escaped down some profound dull tunnel, long since scooped through granites which titanic wars had groaned. So, when the poem opens, we get to know that the speaker, who is a soldier, escapes from the battle and reaches to a long and dark tunnel, the tunnel which was formed by the granite in the ancient battles. The speaker encounters people there who are groaning in pain. Yet also their encumbered sleepers groaned, too fast in though thought or death to be bested. Then, as I probed them, one sprang up and stared with piteous recognition in fixed eyes, lifting distressful hands as if to bless. And by smile I knew that sullen hall, by his dead smile I knew we stood in hell. So, what happens in this tunnel? It appears to the speaker as if these people, who are not moving and who are, groaning in pain, it seems to the speaker as if these people are lost in deep thoughts or are already dead. So, when he looks at these people, then one of the man, gets up from the sleepers and he starts staring at the speaker. Then this man recognizes the speaker and feels pity for him. So this man is also a soldier. So he lifts his hands to bless the speaker. Next, speaker reaches to the conclusion that he is in hell itself after noticing the soldier's dead smile. The dead smile which this soldier carries on his face. With a thousand fears that Vision's face was great, yet no blood reached there from the upper ground, and no guns thumped or down the flues made moan. Strange friend, I said, he has no cause to mourn. None, said that other, save the undone years, the hopelessness, whatever hope is yours was my life also. I went hunting wild after the wildest beauty in the world which lies not calm in eyes or braided here. So in these lines, we get to know that the speaker could notice a thousand fears on the face of this man, but note the blood and the violence which he had recently experienced in the war. So he doesn't even find the sound of the gunshots there making the chimneys groan. The speaker then tells the soldier that there is no reason there to be upset and sad because war is not happening there, so they don't need to be sad or upset about it. Then the soldier replies to the speaker that he feels upset about the years that he has missed by fighting in the war and the hopelessness that he has experienced. He tells the speaker that both of them had the same kind of hopes because both of them were fighting in the war. Then he says that he wanted to find the most beautiful thing in the world and he makes it clear that he is not talking about physical beauty but mocks the steady running of the hour, and if it grieves, grieves richer than here. For by my glee might many men have laughed, and of my weeping something had been left, which must die now. I mean the truth untold, the pity of war, the pity war distilled. Now man will go content with what we spoiled, or discontent boil bloody and be spilled. They will be swift with swiftness of the tigress. So in these lines, you know, this soldier says that he knows that beauty fades away with time. Okay, and he says that if he had not died, he would have made other people laugh, and if he would have felt upset and disappointed by fighting in the wars, then he would have communicated the same kind of experiences with other people also. And he could tell them the truth about the horrors and the violence of the wars. He feels upset that he could not tell people how horrible wars have been, and now people won't object and stop wars. So the wars will keep on happening, will keep on going, and soldiers will keep on fighting and killing each other, having the swiftness of the tigress. None will break ranks, though nations trek from progress. Courage was mine, and I had mystery. Wisdom was mine, and I had mastery. To miss the march of this retreating world into vain citadels that are not walled. Then, when much blood had clogged their chariot wheels, I would go up and wash them from sweet wells, even with truths that lie too deep for taint. So in these lines, soldier seems to be worried because he thinks that all the people are not going to object and stop wars, and they do not know the truth about the wars, the violence and the bloodshed that happen in the war. So all these people won't disagree with their governments also, the governments which are getting involved in these wars, which and by making thousands of soldiers die in these wars. So the soldier says that he was full of courage and mastery, wisdom and skills, and he couldn't see the world going backward, by getting involved in wars, in the violence and the bloodshed. So he would better have washed the bloody wheels of the armored vehicles rather than killing soldiers in the war. He would have preferred to wash the wheels of the armored vehicles, bloody wheels of the armored vehicles. He knew the truth, which cannot be manipulated. I would have poured my spirit without stint, but not through wounds, not on the cess of war. For heads of men have bled where no wounds were. I am the enemy who killed my friend. I knew you in this dark war, so you front. Yesterday through me as you jabbed and killed. I parried, but my hands were loath and cold. Let us sleep now. So in these lines, the soldier says that he could have done everything to help people except fighting in the horrible wars. This is what he wanted to do, but he actually died before doing that. The soldiers who don't suffer physically suffer from mental trauma in the in the wars, having these brutal kind of experiences in the war. So those soldiers who do not suffer physically, they suffer from mental trauma, witnessing the untimely and brutal deaths of the soldiers, and witnessing the bloodshed and the violence everywhere during wars. Then the soldier finally reveals to the speaker that the speaker has killed him in the war one day before, and because he belongs to the enemy soldier, so he belongs to the opposite army. That's why speaker had killed him in the war one day before. And he tells the speaker that he has recognized the speaker in the darkness, and he has the same kind of expression which he had one day before. So he has noticed the same raised eyebrows on the face of the speaker which he was carrying one day before when he killed this soldier of the opposite army. So at that time, the soldier was not able to defend himself from the attack made by the speaker because his hands were slow and numb. And finally, we get to know that the soldier gets reconciled with the speaker and asks him to have rest. And here the poem ends. So the poem ends with reconciliation and harmony between speaker and the soldier.